मैम आपका माइक म्यूट है।
गुड मॉर्निंग सर, आम स्टार्ट करिबा और 2 मिनिट अछि।
गुड मॉर्निंग मैडम। हाँ
गुड मॉर्निंग मैम। गुड मॉर्निंग सर।
मनोज सर स्टार्ट करिवे 10 11:10 हे जीवो।
हाँ मैडम आराम से
पर प्रोग्राम में से टाइम में जॉइन करिवे उचित एटा थर्ड एक्सपेरिमेंट।
हाँ तबरे एटा डीटा एक्सपेरिमेंट
और टिके टाइम लागे।
Ma'am,
हाँ यस हर्ष।
ma'am, I'm not able to enter in chemistry lab class from my Key email ID. It asked me to join.
Oh why?
I don't know, ma'am. In other classes, I enter with this ID and I simply join it. But in this chemistry lab class, it chose me to ask me to join. It asked me.
I don't know exactly what technical problem you are facing. Okay,
I
let's
think you have not joined that lab classroom.
Maybe he is joining with the link. That's what, isn't it? He is not joining to the lab classroom.
Ma'am,
So
please send me the link
you
of class.
okay. Let me check. Students, I'm sending you the link, invitation link again. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Or you join with that. I think you can join. I think you are simply joining into the meeting. You are not joining to the classroom. That's why you are facing the problem. Okay, so please join with that. Let us try to solve it out. Okay. So now this is a combined experiment, as you know. It will take some time. So better we'll start the discussion right now. Okay, so hope my screen is visible to all of you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So today we'll do the experiment standardization of KMnO4 and then we'll estimate iron 2 plus in more salt. Okay. So first of all, we have to standardize potassium permanganate as it is not a primary standard, it is a secondary standard. I think you all know what is a primary standard and what is a secondary standard. So primary standard, which is the concentration of that reagent should not be changed in any circumstance. Actually, it should be pure, and then then it will be used for the calibration for the secondary standard. Okay, so here sodium oxalate or oxalic acid is 99.95% pure. That's why we are using to standardize potassium permanganate. Okay, because potassium permanganate is already contaminated with some of the manganese dioxide, and the color is so intense it is not possible to uh, like check how much pure is KMnO4. And again also in the atmospheric oxygen it will be oxidized, so it is better to standardize before using. Okay, so here we are standardizing KMnO4 by using sodium oxalate. As I already told, sodium oxalate is 99.95% pure, and it is a stable reagent, and it is a pure reagent. So that's why it is used as a primary standard to standardize KMnO4, and here KMnO4 will be used as a secondary standard. So, do you understand primary and secondary standard? And the role of KMnO4 is to which will be used for the estimation of iron 2 plus from more salt. So here we are using more salt to determine iron 2 plus how much it is present in that. But later on it can also be applied to determine how much iron is present in surface water, groundwater, or any water where we are expecting that iron contamination is there. Because from iron contamination, like the water taste will be changed, and also the TDS value will be more, and it will also be harmful for our kidney. Okay, so the maximum uptake maximum value or permissible value for iron is 0.35 milligram per liter or ppm. So if it is more than that, then the precaution has to be taken. So we are this experiment can also be used to determine the amount of iron present in the water bodies. Okay. So here we are using sodium oxalate for the standardization of KMnO4. So the process here it is written. So please look into the chemical reaction. First of all, potassium permanganate is reacting with sulfuric acid to form the nascent oxygen. So that is the requirement for this study. And then sodium oxalate in the presence of sulfuric acid and the nascent oxygen is forming sodium disodium sulfate, carbon dioxide, and water. So here we are hitting it or just hitting to warm to speed up the reaction. So again we are calculating by using the formula N1V1 is equal to N2V2. So here it is written S1 for that strength. So here we are using this formula. We are determining the strength of KMnO4. So similarly, the standardized KMnO4 is now used to determine the iron 2 plus present in the Mohr salt. Okay, so here our idea is the iron 2 plus will be changed to iron 3 plus, and from that we can know how much iron is present in that Mohr salt. So here it will be titrated against KMnO4. Just a minute. Again, madam, namaskar. Again. अब I'm sorry, there was a call from the hospital. That's why I have received it. So let us again will discuss. So here our target is to determine the iron 2 plus which is present in the Mohr salt solution by oxidizing to iron 3 plus. So the whole idea is that first of all, our idea is to estimate the iron 2 plus present in the Mohr salt solution. So in that estimation, KMnO4 is required as to titrate against Mohr salt. So before using in that titration, KMnO4 has to be standardized, and KMnO4 is standardized with sodium oxalate, because sodium oxalate here it will act as a primary standard because it is pure and it is not easily oxidized in the atmospheric oxygen. So this is the whole principle in this experiment. So if you have any doubt, then you can ask me. Okay, so do you understand the principle? Do you understand or any doubt? Because here the strength of the potassium permanganate is unknown and we are titrating with a known strength, means sodium oxalate the strength is known. So the unknown can be determined by because one part is known, another one parameter is not known. So we can calculate with that. Okay. So after knowing that, we will use to determine the strength of iron 2 plus. Do you understand the idea? Hope I am audible to all of you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So any difficulty in understanding the principle or the chemical reactions?
No.
Is it fine to proceed for the procedure part?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then without any delay, we will start the procedure part because it is a lengthy experiment because two experiments are combined together. You know why it is combined, because they are interrelated. Okay, so Manoj sir.
कौन
मोर
कौन
आज्ञा मो पार्ट सरी गला आपण प्रोसीजर पार्ट ना स्टार्ट करंतु
Pardon? Hello. Okay, so very good morning to all of you. So we are going to start our experiment number 3. So can you listen me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Before going to the experiment, I should say that while uploading the experiment, some of you have uploaded twice. So only once you can upload. If you will upload twice, I am not going to check that one. And particularly I have seen roll number 842. Are you there? 842. Roll number 842. Are you there? Subhra Mukherjee. 842. Are you there? You are there or not? Roll number 842. Again, can you listen me? 842. You are there or not? You're only making it on, but you are not there in the class. Roll number 852, you are not there. So when I will show the papers, at that time I will show you what you have uploaded. So let's start the experiment. So we are going to do two experiments today: standardization of potassium permanent and estimation of ferrous ion present in the Mohs salt solution. And till now we have completed complexometry titration in experiment number 1, and we have also completed neutralization titration in experiment number 2. So we are going to do another type of titration, that is redox titration. And in this titration, one solution is the oxidizing agent and another solution is the reducing agent. So while we are going to do this experiment, can you tell me why we are doing the standardization of potassium permanganate? Because these questions will be asked to you, why you are doing standardization of chemicals. Our main experiment is estimation of ferrous ion. That is the main experiment, estimation of ferrous ion in more salt solution. But to do that one, we are going to standardize potassium permanganate. So why you are standardizing potassium permanganate? Can you tell anybody? And potassium permanganate is a primary standard or secondary standard?
So secondary standard.
Yes, it is right. Potassium permanganate is a secondary standard. What, if anybody is going to ask you why potassium permanganate is a secondary standard?
Because its strength is not known to us. We calculate that.
Why potassium permanganate is a secondary standard?
Because we are calculating its concentration.
It is right. Potassium, you are calculating the concentration of chemical. But why? Due to which reason potassium permanganate is a secondary standard? Because potassium permanganate contains impurities in the form of manganese dioxide. So whenever you are going to prepare the solution of KMnO4, you cannot take the exact weight of only KMnO4. Whenever you are taking some amount of KMnO4, some manganese dioxide is associated with it. So as it is not possible to take the exact weight of potassium permanganate, that is why potassium permanganate is a secondary standard, because it contains impurities in the form of manganese dioxide. So before estimating the amount of ferrous ion in more salt solution, we are going to standardize potassium permanganate to know its exact concentration. And I think perhaps I have told you in the very first class what is primary standard, what is secondary standard, what is the characteristic of primary standard. Have I told you or not?
Yes, sir.
I have told you in the very first class. I have told you what is primary standard, what is secondary standard, and what are the characteristics of primary standard. So let us see how to carry out this experiment. Can you see the screen?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So you see, like the previous experiment, we are also going to use same type of flask, burette, pipette, conical flask, and we are going to use the same type of burette, 50 ml capacity burette. We are going to use the 10 ml capacity pipette and conical flask, because these are the same type of flask we are going to use for this experiment.
Sir, we'll draw the table in the blank side also.
Yes, yes, everywhere you have to do the same thing.
Okay, sir.
So chemicals you can see, the chemicals which we are going to use for this experiment, 6N sulfuric acid. It is a dilute sulfuric acid. So can you tell me what is the normality of concentrated sulfuric acid? Anybody can say? The concentrated sulfuric acid has the normality of 36N. Concentrated sulfuric acid has the normality 36N. But here we are using dilute sulfuric acid, whose normality is 6N sulfuric acid. Potassium permanganate solution, it is a very dark purple color solution. Sodium oxalate, which is a colorless solution. More salt solution, which is light greenish in color. You know what is more salt? Can anybody tell me what is more salt? Anyone? You know what is more salt or not?
Sir, NH4 whole 2 FeSO4 whole 2 dot 6H2.
Ammonium sulfate.
Ammonium iron sulfate.
Yes, ferrous sulfate and 6 water. It is a double salt. It is not a complex salt. It is a double salt. Okay. So we are using more salt solution. So these are the chemicals we are going to use for this experiment. No indicator is being used for this experiment because potassium permanent is the self indicator. So that is why no indicator is there. So like every experiment, here we are going to carry out 4 observations for standardized, 4 observations, 4 observations for standardization of KMNO4 and 4 observations for estimation of peroxide. So the first observation is the rough observation. So before carrying out the experiment, we have to wash the burette liquid conical flask with the distilled water like every experiment. And after washing the burette pipette and conical flask, as I am going to fill the burette with potassium permanent, so I must have to rinse the burette with potassium permanent. So burette must be rinsed with the potassium permanent solution, KMNO4 solution. So let's see how to rinse the burette. Take a few ml of potassium permanent. Keep the burette in parallel manner, rotate, and then you discard that solution, so that the nozzle part of the burette will be rinsed. After discarding that solution, you fill the burette again with potassium permanent. Now remove the air gap because you see the solution is not continuous. You have to remove that air gap so that the solution will be continuous in the burette. Okay. So now you can see that the solution is continuous in the burette, there is no gap. So now you fix the burette. Similarly, you have to rinse your pipette with the sodium oxalate solution because I am going to start the standardization of KMNO4. So we are going to standardize potassium permanent by using sodium oxalate solution. The concentration of sodium oxalate is given to us. It is 0.1 N because sodium oxalate is a primary standard. So I am taking a few ml of sodium oxalate arranging and throwing it out. Now take out 10 ml of sodium oxalate. Adjust the volume up to the mark. And transfer that solution to your conical flask. Rub the tip of the pipette to the base of the conical flask. And to that one, we have taken 10 ml of sodium oxalate in the conical flask. To that, we have to add approximately 10 ml of dilute sulfuric acid. So don't pipette out sulfuric acid. You have to take the sulfuric acid with the help of measuring cylinder. So we are taking approximately 10 ml of sulfuric acid so that the medium of the solution will be acidified. And we can add only sulfuric acid to make the medium acidified. You cannot add nitric acid because the nitric acid is an oxidizing agent. So if you will add nitric acid, as it is a redox titration, it will also interfere with the reaction because nitric acid is an oxidizing agent. Similarly, for this titration, you cannot use hydrochloric acid because if you add hydrochloric acid to make the medium acidified, hydrochloric acid will react with potassium permanganate to liberate chlorine, and chlorine is also an oxidizing agent. So as both hydrochloric acid and nitric acid will interfere with the reaction, with the titration, so we are not going to use these two acids to make the medium acidified. Instead, we can use only sulfuric acid to make the medium acidified. So if you are adding a few drops of more or less volume of sulfuric acid, it is not going to affect your observation because you are adding sulfuric acid to make the medium acidified. And after addition of sulfuric acid, you have to heat the solution. You do not have to boil the solution. And you are going to heat the solution so that you know that to initiate a reaction, you must have to reach the threshold energy level. And in this case, the activation energy is very high. So to initiate the reaction, you have to reduce the activation energy so that it can reach the threshold energy level. So you just have to warm the solution. You do not have to boil the solution. If you boil the solution, then there will be problem. The sodium oxalate will be decomposed. So that is why you should never boil the solution. Only you make it a little bit warm. So now you see, I have started my initial Biuret reading from 0. So here you cannot take the lower or upper layer. So take the observation table. Volume of sodium oxalate is 10 and initial Biuret reading is 0. So after heating the solution, you should not make it cool. After heat the solution, immediately you start the titration. So like every titration, you should proceed in that manner. For the first observation, you have to add 0.5. And after so many warnings, I have seen many of you have written 10 ml. Don't write ml. Or the heading it is already written ml. So only write the numerical one. You can take, we have gone up to 2.5. Then 3. .5. Still there is no change in color. No change. No change. Still there is no change. Now you can observe the color is changed permanently to pink. So record the final observation. The final observation is 7.5. So we have started from 0 and the final observation, final Buret reading is 7.5. So mark the difference. Difference is also 7.5 and the remark is draw. Now we will go to the second observation. Was the conical flask. Pour that water, discharge that water, and you repeat the washing 2 times. Now keep it out. Again 10 ml of sodium oxalate. Transfer the 10 ml to the conical flask. In the same process, add approximately 10 ml of dilute sulfuric acid. Heat the solution. So now take out the conical flask and carry out the titration. And for the second observation, you see the observation table. The volume of sodium oxalate is 10. Initial Buret rating is 7.5. So all these observations you should write on the plain side of your record. That means on the left side of the record. So in this case, the raw reading is 7.5. So we can add directly 7 ml from the urate. So here you will find that at the beginning, the reaction is very slow. So at the beginning, you have to add slowly. And once you will add a few ml of KMNO4, due to the reaction, some Mn plus to ion will be produced. Here what happens? Heptavalent ions, Mn plus, is changed to divalent manganese. So once some divalent manganese ions are produced, it will auto-catalyze the whole redox reaction. So once you add a few ml of KMNO4, the reaction will become faster. So we can go directly up to 14.5. Okay, so after reaching 14.5, we will add drop by drop. You see, we have added. You have to mix it. While you are mixing, you have to mix the solution fast. During the addition of KMNO4, you should simultaneously make the solution very fast. Now go on adding drop by drop. No change. Add another drop. Still there is no change. Okay, so now you can find the color is changed. This is your final alburet reading for the second observation. So in the raw observation, the color may be dark because you are adding RT lot 0.5. But while you are taking the second, third and fourth observation, you should add drop by drop after adding the lower limit. And the color should be very faint. Only one drop should be the difference between color and colorless. So you can mark what is the reading. It is 15.7. Oh, sorry, 14.6. It is 14.6. So difference is 7.1. So again, was the conical flask. So transfer 10 ml of sodium oxalate to the conical flask. Add approximately 10 ml of dilute sulfuric acid. Is the solution. So for the third observation, initial alburet reading is 14.6. Volume of sodium oxalate is again 10. So here you can add directly 7 mm, so 14.6 plus 7. You can go directly up to 21.6. So once you reach that 21.6, after that one, go on adding drop by drop. No change. No change. No change. So now the color is changed. Note down what is the final Buret reading. .7, difference is 7.1. Again you repeat. Was the clinical flux. And again you keep it out 10 ml of sodium oxalate. Add approximately 10 ml of dilute sulfuric acid. Here's the solution. So for the fourth observation, you can see volume of sodium oxalate is 10 and the initial Buret reading is 21.7. So we can add directly up to 28.7. No change in the color of the solution. Now go on adding drop by drop. No change. Again add another drop. No change. No change. One drop more. Okay, so the color is changed. Note down what is the final bullet reading. Final bullet reading is 28.8 and the difference is 7.1. And make a bracket, write down concordant only once. And I'm emphasizing you have to write concordant only once, never write concordant 3 times. So that means we require 7.1 ml of potassium permanent for the reaction with sodium oxalate. That means sodium oxalate here is the reducing agent. So sodium oxalate is to be oxidized. Sodium oxalate is oxidized to sodium oxide, carbon dioxide. So here what happens, we require 7.1 ml of potassium permanent to oxidize sodium oxalate, 10 ml of sodium oxalate. So this is the first part of the experiment. Now we will go to the second part of the experiment. So let me finish the observation table for both the experiments. After that one, I will tell you how to do the calculation. Then I will share the observation table, what you have to write in the ruling side. So we are moving to the second part of the experiment, estimation of ferrous iron. So while we are doing the estimation of ferrous iron, in the burette we have to take same potassium permanent. So we do not have to rinse the burette again. We have to fill the burette again with the potassium permanent, same potassium permanent. Because from the previous experiment we can determine the normality of potassium permanent. But in the pipette we are going to take a different solution. In the previous experiment we have taken sodium oxalate with the pipette. In the second experiment, we are going to take more salt solution in the pipette. So as we are going to take or use a different solution in the pipette, so we must have to wash the pipette, rinse the pipette with the more salt solution. So after washing the pipette with the distilled water, we have to rinse the pipette with the more salt solution. But burette do not require any rinsing because you have to use the same potassium permanent. So after rinsing, you rinse the pipette again, and after rinsing the pipette, you have to throw out that more salt. Okay, so now you have to pipette out 10 ml of more salt solution. And before starting the titration, you should check what is the initial burette reading. The initial burette reading for the second one is also 0. And we are going to take 10 ml of more salt solution. So after taking 10 ml of more salt solution, you transfer that one to the clinical flask. Same thing, add approximately 10 ml of dilute sulfuric acid because this reaction also occurs in acidified medium. And here more salt is the reducing agent, potassium permanganate is the oxidizing agent. But the difference here, you do not have to heat the solution. In standardization of KMNO4, you are heating the solution, but in the estimation of ferrous iron, you do not have to heat the more salt solution because the reaction is very fast. You do not have to heat the solution. So directly you can carry out the titration. So the first one is the rough observation. So in the same manner, you go on adding 0.5. So you can observe how the reaction is fast. While you are adding, you can see the color is vanished. Before mixing the solution, the color is vanished. You can see we are adding 0.5. No change. No change. Still there is no change. No change. No change. No change. Still there is no change in the color of the solution. No change. Now you can see the color change. So record the final observation. And when the color is changed, when all the ferrous iron present in the more salt solution is converted to ferrous. After that one, the color is changed. So we have started the Burette reading from 0. Final Burette reading is 9.0. Difference is 9.0. And the remark is wrong. So now we will proceed for the second observation. What the conical class. Pipette out 10 ml of more salt solution. And after transferring the solution, you have to add 10 ml of dilute sulfuric acid. So for the second observation, volume of Moore salt solution is 10, initial buret reading is 9.0, and as the raw reading is 9.0, so we can add directly 8.5 ml solution. So up to which reading in the buret we can go direct?
17.5.
We can go directly up to 17.5. So 9 plus 8.5, it is 17.5. So after reaching 17.5, we can check it by adding drop by drop. No change. No change. Still there is no change. Okay, so now the color is changed. And note down what is the final buret reading. Final buret reading is 17.7 for us. 17.7. So difference is 8.7. So now proceed for the third observation.
Here's what you need to know about Chromebooks. Chromebooks are powerfully simple laptops. Powerful, they handle what's
So transfer 10 ml of Moore salt solution to the clinical flask. So for the third observation, we can add directly up to 17.7 plus 8.5. We can go directly 26.2.
what's important to you, and designed in a way that makes them easy to use. Look,
No change. Now check it drop by drop. So now the color is changed. So move down, what is the final algebraic reading? Final algebraic reading is at 26.4. And the difference is 8.7. So now continue in the same manner for the last observation. So transfer the 10 ml of Moore solution to the conical flask. Add approximately 10 ml of dilute citric acid in the same manner in which you provided in the previous three observations. So for the fourth observation, volume of Moore solution is 10. Initial algebraic reading is 26.4.
Hi, I'm Shabir from Bangalore. Inspired to take a practice. Within a couple of months after completing the nuclear course, I was able to get through a recruitment organization. Hello, my name is Krishna.
So we know that we can add directly 8.5, so we can go directly up to 34.9.
Now, many of my subscribers are basically asking what are the different steps to learn data science, how to issue this thing. So I'm just going to give you a very small example by just drawing this big diagram. Don't worry by seeing this particular diagram because
Now check it by adding drop by drop. Okay, the color is changed. So note down what is the final algebraic reading. Final algebraic reading is 35.1. So mark the difference. Difference is 8.7. So you have seen for the last three observations, the difference is repeated. Make a bracket, write down permanent. So that means 8.7 ml of potassium permanent is being consumed to oxidize the ferrous sulfate part of the Mohr salt to ferric sulfate. Okay, so now we will proceed for the calculation. I will stop this one. We will go to the calculation part of. Okay. So can you see the calculation of standardization of K-menopause? This is the calculation for standardization of K-menopause. So you check it N1, normality of K-menopause solution. Is it known to you?
No, sir.
No. V1, volume of K-menopause solution required for the titration. So can you see this observation table which we have already done, the demonstration observation table? Can you tell me what will be V1? What will be V1?
NME.
Volume of K-menopause solution. It is not the volume of sodium oxalate solution. Volume of potassium.
7.1.
7.1.
The first observation table you are getting concordant is 7.1. So I am telling you just so that you will be able to know how to do the calculation. This is 7.1 and normality of sodium oxalate is given to you 0.1 N because it is the primary standard, and B2 volume of sodium oxalate solution, that is 10 ml because you have prepared out 10 ml. So you can calculate what is N1, and whatever N1 you are getting from this experiment, that value will be utilized for the calculation of the second part of the experiment, estimation of error. So by doing this experiment, you are able to determine the normality of K. If you want to determine the strength, you have to multiply with the equivalent weight of K. But it is not necessary because only N1 is necessary because you have to calculate the strength of ferrous ion. So while we are going to do the second part of the experiment, you can see estimation of ferrous ion in the calculation N1, normality of, here it is written, standard K-menopause solution, because the normality of K-menopause solution is now known to you. So whatever you are getting the normality of K-menopause from the previous part of the experiment, you will write here. Are you getting?
Yes,
sir.
yes, sir.
Okay. B1, volume of K-menopause solution required for the titration. What is the volume? Can you tell me?
8.7.
8.7.
Because in the second part of the observation table, you are getting concordant is 8.7. So here you will write N2, normality of Mohr salt solution. You have to find out. B2, volume of Mohr salt solution required for the titration. You have prepared out 10 ml. So it is 10. So you can calculate what is N2. N1, B1 by B2. So once you are able to determine N2, you can calculate the strength of ferrous ion in the Mohr salt solution. N2 into equivalent weight of ferrous ion in Mohr salt. That is N2 into 55.85. So unit will be gram per liter, whatever you are getting. At the end, you will write the conclusion. The strength of ferrous ion present in the given Mohr salt solution was determined to be this one. Whatever you are getting, you will write. Are you getting?
Yes, sir.
So now I will share the observation table. So first you check the roll number 766 up to 808. First you write this one. 7 roll number. You check your roll number. This is for 766 up to 808. This is the observation. Roll number 766 up to 808. Once you write, you will tell me so that I will switch over to the next observation table for the other roll number.
Show the marks.
I'll show you after sharing this observation table.
Yes, sir, over.
Now I will switch over to the next observation table for roll number 809 to 850.
Where the video?
Yes.
From 809 where?
Roll number 809 to 850. This is the observation table.
Not able to see, sir.
Yes.
Is not visible.
Not
visible, sir. You are sharing till
The screen is lagging.
You are not able to see.
Sir, you are sharing
No,
till
sir, not
808.
visible. The screen sharing is paused.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Now
It is visible, sir.
Yes,
It
sir.
is now it is visible to you or not?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, you may write.
So the conclusion part in the standardization of Camino 4 we have to write now.
If you have to write in the conclusion of standardization of KMN4, you can write the frame.
Okay, sir.
Okay, all of you have written the observation table.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now I am going to the marks of the previous experiment. If you have any doubt at any point, you can tell me.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, I'm so actually that time when you were calling, I had gone to the toilet. So can you repeat once more?
Which one?
Sir, you were calling me, na?
Yes. Your roll number is 842.
Yes, sir.
I have told you in the previous class that before uploading, you should check what PDF file you have made. Have you seen that one? Have you seen or not?
Yes, sir.
I'll show you in your PDF file. You are submitting the PDF file which has geography has the answer. You see your file 842. Are you able to see?
Yes, sir.
This is the file you have uploaded. Kriti Mukherjee.
So that's when I uploaded my sister's file, maybe.
That means while you are in the class, you are writing and you are making the PDF and you are uploading, or your sister is uploading?
No, sir, I was only uploading. Actually, the name file may be same.
You see what you have uploaded.
Sir, roll 818, sir. Well, the 3 marks.
Yes. You first check. I am showing you from the beginning. First you check roll number 766 797. If there is any problem in between this roll number, you tell me. Then I will move to the next. Roll number 766 up to 797. You check your mark.
So marks not visible. Showing, sir.
Not visible, sir.
Not visible, sir.
You are not able to see the mark.
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir, no, sir.
The PDF is open still.
Yes, yes.
The
The
PDF.
PDF is open.
System Mukherjee, sir.
Now you can see.
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. Again, I am sharing.